Morning everyone, and it is a very overcast. A little bit of sunshine behind me. It's a very overcast morning, and in today's morning walk we're doing some weighted rucking. I preach a lot about how important like walking every single day is, morning walks and stuff like that, and a nice way to add a little bit of intensity and a little bit of something else to the morning hike is to add a rucksack with weights in it. And honestly, in my opinion, this is like one of the easiest and near enough as down to be free things that you can do to increase your fat loss, weight loss, building the muscle strength in your legs, conditioning, walking with weight. It costs near enough absolutely nothing. All you need is a rucksack, a place to walk, and some weights, which is why I like using kettlebells, obviously, because they're quite small. They're in the house anyway, fit nicely into a bag. Obviously you can use weight plates and other things, but yeah, don't cost much to do, absolutely free, massive loads of benefits. Yeah, there's just no reason not to do it. If you're able to walk and you can get out places, honestly, this is one of the best things for fat loss. And I'm not using anything special, like for this one, I'm just using just a basic rucksack. You don't need a proper hiking sack. I've got a few of them at home, with padded backs and straps to go along the waist. But you don't need all special. I'm just trying to demonstrate that this is just a random rucksack. It's just stuck a weight in it, wrapped it in a towel, off we go. So the plan was, where the cars are, was to hike up that wallside bridge. But there were a couple of people coming down there with their dogs, so I just wanted to keep these guys out of the way. Just easier, don't have to stop moving that way. So we're coming up the main track, and it's a good hike. We're going to go right up to the pinnacle, right up to the top today, and roughly an hour's round trip, half an hour up, half an hour back, carrying 20 kilos worth of weight, which is more than what my kids weigh. Well, not together. It's more than one of my kids weigh, and obviously it's important to me and anyone else, to be able to carry them, lift things for them. If they fall and injure themselves up here, you want to be able to carry them back. You don't want to not have the capacity to do that. So like basic things like this, it's just an absolute no-brainer. Right, yeah, so car's down there. We've walked up the track. We might go down that way later, but there's the ridge just up there, and then beyond that there's another ridge, which is where the pinnacle is, and that is where we're going with these guys. Like I say, I do a morning walk. I do loads of walks all day really, but I do so many morning walks, and while I'm out with these guys, why not make the most of it? In a place like this makes perfect sense. Yeah, so like I said, for this one I'm using 20 kilo kettlebell, which isn't too bad. It's a nice weight. I'm not sure the bag that I've got would take much more, much more weight than that. I mean, you probably would, but it'd be easier if you just didn't snap on that. So it's a nice weight, a good weight to carry up and down here. You know, weighs about almost the size of one of these dogs. You know, dogs weigh nearly 30, so you know, if what happened to these guys, pick one of these up on shoulders, off we go. But like I said, you don't have to start here. You could literally just find any old rucksack that you've got. You could get on Facebook Marketplace. You could go, you just Google that, you know, if you're in the UK, you know, Argos or anywhere else sell these. You could just get a cheap plastic one, not to trim it home because they're shit. But, you know, you don't have to get a proper cast iron one. I would suggest investing in one though. You could just get a nice cheap plastic one. 10 kilos, stick in a rucksack, start walking with it. The amount of good that it will do and how it challenges your body without you even knowing it's challenging your body. It's just there's no end to benefits, no downside to this. And like I say, it costs nothing near enough, so I suggest you guys get on with it. Especially if you've got dogs, you're out walking anyway. And a little bit of a challenge to it. Spitting. And if you do decide to do it, and you're doing it in a normal rucksack, not like a hiking sack that's got padded backs, I suggest that you wrap your kettlebell up in a few towels like I did at the start. Just stops it from digging into your back, makes it a little bit more comfortable to carry. Yeah, highly suggest wrapping up with towels. You don't want them digging into your back halfway on your hike. Yeah, and sorry about the wind. We are climbing higher-ish now, so there's just a bit of a breeze. I talk about keep mentioning the benefits of like rucking with weight on your back, and it's kind of like when you're walking like up the hill, just being up over like really uneven terrain, and you're moving in and out of dips, and you've got weight on your back. You're asking your body to like try and stabilise that, your legs to stabilise using your muscles. They're activating to keep yourself upright from not falling over. You know what I mean? You're asking your core as well to stabilise yourself. You're carrying that weight, you're slouching. You want to be able to try and remain upright. So you're asking your core to stabilise. You're asking so much stabilisation of your body when you walk in places like this. You know, stabilise, and then you're asking like your shoulders and your traps, like that static strength. Like you come to that weight, it's pulling down all the time. So it's like, it's just great for your leg stability, it's great for your core, it's great for your shoulders, your traps. And if you do want to train fasted, like I don't recommend doing like high intensity stuff, fasted workouts, I don't think they're that beneficial. But if you want to train fasted, try and strip as much fat as possible, this is what you do. This is what you do. You walk up nice gradient hills, like that one, with weight on your back at a steady state. It's this sort of heart rate, this sort of steady state, where it's going to start, because fat takes a long time to break down, remember. So it's like this sort of stuff is what's going to take, you know, it's going to start stripping that fat down. It's going to do it gradually, slowly break it down for energy. And it's not in an immediate rush to get these benefits. So, you know, this is perfect. If you want to train fasted or do something fasted, fat loss, you know, this is it. Walking weight. Weighted walking. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, even so, absolutely stunning, man. It's not a bad morning at all. Right, so that was the top, which was just over that crest, but it was bloody windy right at the peak, obviously. And there were another couple of guys up there with their dogs, so I didn't want to be filming these spanners running around. So yeah, so we're all the way to the top, taking about 35 minutes this time. We're steady away, we weren't rushing. So the plan is now to go back down the way. We're actually going to go up onto that hill up there, so it takes a little bit longer to get down the other side. Still a few more hills, a couple of flat spots, instead of it just being a really easy decline, a little bit rougher terrain. Just takes a little bit longer to get down. So yeah, that is the plan. Right, so we're not far off now. We've come along the ridge. Car's down there, dogs are there, and in good old British fashion, because it's the weekend, pissing big rain cloud. But we will get back to the car before that arrives. Bloody typical, been glorious all week, gets to weekend, rain. Needs to move to somewhere warmer. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, so like my my top 3 tips, if you guys, obviously, if you want to strip fat, you want to lose fat, you want to get stronger, you want to be healthier, you want to increase longevity, you want to be better just overall in everyday health and activities, then my top 3 biggest tips for you guys is very simple. Number 1, right, is that you build strength and muscle mass. That is like non-negotiable. If you want to live for longer, you want to be healthier for longer, be able to do things like all this sort of stuff for longer, be around for your kids, grandkids, be more stable even when you get older, falling, be able to get back up, things like this. Strength and muscle mass is key, and working on obviously the movements that go with them. Number 2 is walking every single day. Every single day, get up, do a morning walk. Ideally 3 walks a day, morning, middle and night. Last thing at night if you can. If not, then obviously you guys just stick to 1 big walk a day if you can. But walking every single day. Ideally weighted rucking. The amount of fat and stability that this requires, calories it will consume, is far beyond anything else that you can just easily do, and it costs near enough nothing at all. I've said that all the way up. Yeah, so that's number 2. Number 3 is that I wouldn't even bother, to some degree, worrying about the calories. Like going, I need to be in a calorie deficit all the time. Everybody gets too focused on calories, and that calories are king. Now, while I agree that calories are a key part in this, I highly suggest that you guys sort of forget about the calories and focus on the food quality. Get rid of all the crap, all the processed stuff, all the things that have been manufactured, ultra processed, get rid of seed oils, get rid of sugars, all these sort of things, right, are things that you need to get out of your diet and focus on eating like the most healthiest people in the world. They weren't so dogmatic on what they ate, whether it were keto, whether it were carnivore, whether it were vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, all these things. The main thing that all these people had in common, that they were living for so long and healthier life, is that they was eating whole foods, unprocessed whole foods. So it doesn't really matter what diet or food choices that you pick, although I highly recommend that you stick to a very high protein diet. But yeah, eating whole, unprocessed foods. Stick to your fish, your meat, your eggs, anything that's just not been messed around with, no processed stuff, no donuts and stuff like this. While they're okay on occasion, you if you cut all that stuff out of your diet and focus on eating whole unprocessed foods that are good for you, high in protein and full of healthy fats, things like this, you will notice a massive difference and you will see some recomposition if you focus on those 3 things. And I'll give you a bonus tip, is that you take a cold shower every single day, and if you can, take a cold plunge at least once a week in the bath. That's obviously if you don't have an ice bath. If you've got an ice bath or a cold plunge bath outside, do that. Obviously if you've got one, you're going to be doing it, but yeah, I invest in a cold bath. A good cold plunge every single day is a good tip. But yeah, just the amount of benefits that I have. But they're my top 3 tips: strength, muscle mass, weighted walking, and eating whole, natural, unprocessed foods, and focusing on a high protein diet. You know, don't worry so much about the calories, focus more on the quality of food and what you're actually consuming and making them smarter, more nutritious food choices. But yeah, so we're pretty much back at the car now. Sorry about the wind in this one, obviously we're higher up here today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've been out for just over an hour now, looking at the timer, and it's been a nice little walk. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. If you found it interesting, if you had fun watching it, any questions, any stuff like that, you know, leave them down in the comments. Please do leave a like. It really does help a small channel out like this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one.